Yes, but in the Bible you'll find some verses that are saying I've only been sent for the lost sheep of Israel. And so
yeah, there's some tension. You see this,
yes.
you see something like the rise of a universalism, a spirit of universalism that surpasses fundamental tribalism, even of a religious sort. But there seems to be a struggle that takes place in the gospel, in some sense, conceptually, between
Yes.
this reversion to something that's more tribal and something that's genuinely universal. But I think the universalist spirit wins out quite clearly. I mean, otherwise Christianity wouldn't be an evangelizing religion. It's
Yeah.
designed to try to
That's
bring everyone
largely
under the
because of
fold, let's
the
say.
tension. Sorry, it's largely because of the tension between Paul and James, and a lot of modern day Christianity is based on Pauline kind of interpretations.
This is very, very simple. Notice the order. I've called you as a covenant to the people, so Israel, and a light to the nations. So first Israel, then the nations. So he focuses his mission on Israel when he starts. Now, it's not without exception. Matthew, the 8th chapter, when he heals the servant of a centurion, he says that many will come from the east and the west. He prophesies it. The Gentiles, they will come from the nations and sit down and feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whereas those that were part of that are going to be excluded. So he's saying right there, and it brings offense right from the start. Luke 4, he talks about how it was a Gentile that was healed, in Elisha's day, and not the people of Israel. And he gets them very upset when he talks about God's mercy going to the nations. So this is something explicit from the start. And if you want to talk about the Syrophoenician woman in Mark 7 and Matthew 15, let's read the whole account. He travels maybe 20 to 30 miles out of his way. And the only thing he does when he gets there is heals this woman's daughter, delivers her from a demon. And then he goes back, and he had just been teaching about clean and unclean. And even if you eat food with unwashed hands, it doesn't make it unclean. And now he goes, and the food laws kept the Jews separate from the Gentiles. Now he goes into Gentile territory and heals a Syrophoenician woman's daughter. So he is now making the initial statement about this good news going to the Gentiles as well. But now we have to take the rest of his words. He focuses on Israel. That's his mission. Don't get distracted by it. Just focus on that. Matthew 10, don't go anywhere else. Go there. And now he dies. He rises from the dead. What's the Great Commission? Matthew 28. Matthew 28 is as much the words of Jesus as Matthew 10. This is now the next phase. Make disciples of the nations. Acts 1:8. Jerusalem, Judea, to the ends of the earth. So it starts with Israel, exactly as it says here. I'll appoint you as a covenant to the people and as a light to the nations. And now the gospel, of course, has spread since there. It's quite explicit. The first concentration on his own people. However, he really is talking about this message now going to the Gentile world quite explicitly, even to the point that his Jewish hearers are getting offended. And then he rises from the dead, and now this message must go to the entire world. So absolutely no contradiction whatsoever.